Hello, this is a quick video to show you the use of the Docker tool. Uh, Dockers is one of the platforms you can use to manage containers. You can download Dockers from docker.com for your Mac or Windows machine. Once it's installed, you can work with Dockers in two ways. One way is with a graphical interface with the Docker desktop. If I go here to Docker desktop, I can see my image, my containers, nothing is still downloaded. I can go to the Docker Hub where it's a repository of image, so I can work it graphically. But I wanted to show you how to work through the terminal. First thing we have to do, we're gonna open a terminal in Mac or the CMD in Windows, and we have place we're gonna run commands. Okay, so the first thing we have to do, step one, is download an image to be able to run a container. Okay, an image is not a container, but it's a template to create containers. So how we're gonna do this? We're gonna use the pull command. First, we have to make sure the Docker is started. So if you execute Docker desktop start here, uh, Docker desktop start, it's gonna tell you if it's running. If it's not, it will start it. Okay, so we're gonna run the Docker pull command, for example, to download an image, hello world. Hello world. Okay, it's going to Docker Hub and it's downloading into my laptop the Hello World image. So now it's downloaded, and I can download other images to create other containers. For example, MySQL, the DBMS. I can shoot the Docker pull MySQL. It's going to go to Docker Hub. It's going to pull the image from Docker Hub. It's going to store it in my laptop. Okay. When this is done, I will have the two images downloaded. How do I see the image that are downloaded? How do you see my repository? Always make sure desktop is started. I don't have to do it because I just did it. I'm going to open the terminal with it, and we're going to run the command docker image. Okay, if I run the command, let me clean the screen, docker image, I'm going to see that I have download two images, the hello world and my SQL. Okay, so now I have two images to create containers. How do you remove an image? With the RMI command, and you can put the ID of the image or the name of the image. So in this case, if I want to remove the hello world, I will do docker RMI, and then I put hello world. This is one possibility. Or instead hello world, I can, this is that downloaded, remove it. Okay, now if I do docker image, it's gone. So I can pull it again to have that image back. So I do pull again hello world. I bring it back from Docker Hub. And now when I do Docker image to see my repository, I see I have both hello world and MySQL. Okay. Now we're gonna create a container from the image. To create a container from the image, you have to execute the docker run command. So for example, to run here the hello world, to create a container from the hello world image, I just do docker run hello world. Okay, this is gonna execute a container and run it in my machine. This container just print this message that everything is correct. Okay, it doesn't leave anything running. So now I have run the hello world image. If I want to run the other image, I want to create a container, for example, with MySQL. I'm going to give some parameters here where I put the -d means the running background, so don't block the window, the terminal. They're going to give a name for the container. I'm going to give a password for the user root in MySQL. I'm going to give the name of database IE. I'm going to give the mapping of the ports. This is the port I'm going to use, and this is the internal port in MySQL, and this is the name of the image. So if I execute this command, it will create a container for MySQL. Let me copy so I don't have to write all of that. So I'm gonna copy paste, copy the command. I come to my terminal and I execute this command, and you can see there is an error because you have to put MySQL in lowercase. MySQL, the name of the image. Now the uh, the MySQL container has been created and is running. Okay. So now when it's created, I can check the containers that are running. With the Docker PS command, it's going to tell me the running container. So if I execute Docker PS, let me make it bigger. Okay. It's going to tell me that I have my SQL connect. Let me make it so you can see the whole line. Okay. It's telling me that I have my SQL container running. This is the name I give. This is the port I map. Okay. And that is running. The hello world is not running because it just ran and stops. It only prints something in the screen. But my SQL will be run until I stop it. So now my SQL container is running, and I could access to that database. So I could access dbViewer. I'll show you at the end to connect to that MySQL. I can stop a running container. So if I use Docker stop and I give the container ID that I get from Docker PS, I can stop the container. So in this case, Docker PS is telling me that this is the container ID. So if I copy that and I say Docker stop and I give the container ID, it's gonna stop the container. Okay, so now my SQL is not running anymore. It's not consuming resources in my computer. If I do Docker PS now, it will show me that there is no running container. But if I put -a, it will tell me the container has been created, even they are not running, but they exist. Okay, so if I do Docker PS, nothing is in the screen, but if I do Docker PS -a, it's gonna tell me that two container, okay, has been run in my computer, MySQL and the hello world. So these two containers exist, and I can start again the container with the Docker start. We use Docker stop to stop the container. I can do Docker start to start back the container. Okay, Docker run, remember that it creates the container and it started. But if when it's created, I don't do Docker run anymore. I do Docker start and stop. Docker start. I give the ID and execute. Now my container is running again. So if I do Docker PS, it's gonna show me that I have my SQL here, my SQL demo container running, and it points to my SQL image. So now I have Docker PS running. How to remove a container with the Docker RM with the container ID. So for example, let me do Docker PS -a to show the containers. If I want to remove the hello world container, I just do Docker RM. Remember, for the image, we do RMI. For the containers, we do just RM, and I give the ID of the container, and that's going to remove the container. Now, when I do Docker PS -a, it's going to show me only the MySQL container, okay? And it's show me all the containers, they're running and not running. So Docker PS show me only the ones that are running. That is this one, MySQL is running. Okay, let me, now that we have a running container, I can connect to this MySQL from another computer or from my host computer. How do I do it? I'm gonna use a SQL client like dbViewer. So I'm gonna open here dbViewer, okay? And I'm gonna connect with the information needed to connect to that database. It's just an example so you have run. So when I go here, I'm gonna close, I'm gonna say database, new database connection. It's gonna be my SQL. So I click here. It's gonna be, the server is gonna be localhost, that is my current computer. This is the IP of my current computer, where is the content is running. Okay, the username is root. The password is big data, as we put when we run it, we create it, and the port we put is 3307. Okay, now I have to do some adjust before connecting, testing in the driver properties. So if I go to driver properties, what I have to do is put these two configurations. Allow public retrieval a true, so we can connect with a public key. So I go here, allow poetry, I go here. I'm gonna put in lowercase just in case true. I hit enter, it turns to bold. It means that it has been changed. And if I go down, I'm gonna do the use SSL false. So if I go down, okay, to the use SSL here, when it's true, say don't use SSL, and I say false. Hit enter and go back to the main tab. Now I can test the connection and I can see that the connection is working connected. So when I click finish, I have a new connection here. Okay, and I have my database IE here that has been created because I said that when I run the container. Okay, and from here I can do SQL editor. I can say new SQL script. I can create a table. Okay, T1 with a column C1, the type int, C2 of chart. Then, okay, I create the table. I can insert some data, insert into T1. I can values 1, comma, hello, put single quote, hello. I can give another row, 2, comma, by. Okay, I can execute this row and I can sell it. Okay, so we have a database running in a container the same way could run in a virtual machine or on a computer, and you see it's working. Okay, so we have seen how to download an image, how to create a container with the run command. We download the image with the pull command. We create the image with the run command. We can start, stop the container, okay, and we can remove the container. Yeah, as I said, there is a graphic interface, and you come here, you can see I have the image downloaded. I have the containers. It's only running. Here I can also delete it. I can stop it, start it. So I can do everything from the Docker desktop, but I recommend you use the commands, okay? Because they're always work, they're always there, and you can use it in any operating system. Okay, that's all from this video.